Welcome back to Outside Views, your place for no-nonsense takes on the uncomfortable truths people don't want to admit. And today we're diving into a story that might sting a little for some. British tourists are being told, quite literally, don't come. Yeah, you heard that right. Don't pack your flip-flops just yet. Don't dust off the Union Jack swim trunks. Because parts of the Canary Islands are basically hanging up a no vacancy sign aimed directly at British holidaymakers. And let's dig into what's happening, and trust me, it's not just about a few angry locals shouting at tourists on the beach. This is part of a much bigger, much deeper crisis. It all started when visitor numbers to Tenerife exploded by 2 million in just 1 year. That's right, 2 million extra people cramming onto an island already struggling to cope. Now imagine your peaceful island life being turned into something that looks like the queue for a Black Friday sale at your local Tesco, but 24/7. Not exactly paradise, is it? Protests first began in 2024, and thousands of locals marched into Santa Cruz waving banners, chanting slogans, and warning that the Canary Islands were reaching their breaking point. But here's the interesting bit. Back then, the protests very deliberately avoided tourist hotspots, and the activists didn't want to ruin the holiday vibe. They stayed polite. They stayed respectful. And fast forward to today, all gloves are off. Fed up with politicians doing a grand total of nothing, protesters are now taking their message directly to Playa de las Americas and other British tourist favorites. Yeah, that's right. Right into the heart of sunburned British territory. And what is their message? Well, it's simple. Don't come. Don't bother. We are full. The island is on its knees, locals say. And honestly, who can blame them? Ivan Cerdena Molina, one of the lead activists, put it bluntly. The situation is critical, he said. If you want a peaceful holiday, don't come to a collapsed, congested island. And that's a tough pill to swallow for millions of Brits who've considered Tenerife their second home for decades. Cheap flights, guaranteed sunshine, fish and chips at the beachfront. It's almost part of British culture at this point. But the Canarians have had enough. And they are not just talking. They are planning massive protests starting on May 18th, right at the beginning of the peak tourist season. They will occupy tourist spaces, boycott events, confront political leaders, and, as they put it, make it very clear that they are not backing down until real change happens. And their slogan? The Canaries have a limit. And let's be honest, it's hard to argue with that. Tenerife isn't the only place feeling the squeeze. Across Spain, resentment against mass tourism is growing. Barcelona, Mallorca, Ibiza, you name it. Locals are fed up with sky-high rents, disappearing neighborhoods, and overcrowded streets. And no, it's not about hating tourists personally. It's about hating a system that's turned their homes into theme parks for the privileged. And now, let's talk numbers, because they are staggering. 16 million tourists in 2023, 18 million in 2024, projected to be even higher in 2025. At some point, the question isn't, can we take more? It's how much longer before something breaks? And something is breaking. Environmental damage, overloaded infrastructure, a cost of living crisis that's pushing locals out of their own homes. Because let's be real, the average Canarian worker isn't getting rich off tourism. They are getting priced out by Airbnb rentals and imported luxury. And meanwhile, hotel chains and international investors are laughing all the way to the bank. Sound familiar? Well, it should. Because this is not just a Tenerife problem. It's a global phenomenon. Venice, Amsterdam, Dubrovnik, all facing the same existential question. How do you balance the money tourism brings with the life it destroys? Back to Tenerife though, the protesters have made it clear they don't want to destroy tourism. And they don't want to keep all Brits out, for example. They want sustainable tourism. They want visitors who respect the island and its people. They want regulations that prioritize locals over corporate profits. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you love Tenerife, really love it, maybe the best thing you can do this year is not to go. Or at least think hard about how you travel, where you stay, and what your money supports. Because right now, the locals are shouting at the top of their lungs, and pretending not to hear them would be the height of arrogance. And now, let's be fair. This is not just the tourists' fault. It's a failure of governance. It's years of short-sighted policies, chasing quick profits without planning for sustainability. It's politicians smiling for cameras while communities crumble behind them. And now finally, those communities are fighting back. Will it work? Well, that's the big question. Because let's not kid ourselves. Tourism is a massive part of the Canary Islands economy. Turning off that tap overnight would be catastrophic in its own way. But ignoring the problem isn't an option anymore either. And here's something the British media isn't talking about much. This wave of anger could easily spread. Other tourist hotspots are watching Tenerife closely. If the protests succeed, if they force real change, don't be surprised if other places start telling British tourists the same thing. Imagine being told, don't come in Benidorm or Magaluf or even the Algarve. Laugh now, but it's not impossible. The world is changing. Travel is changing. And if Britain doesn't adapt, if tourists keep acting like entitled invaders instead of respectful guests, the welcome mat is going to keep getting rolled up. Faster than you can say all-inclusive package holiday. So what's the solution here? Tourists and tourism needs to be reimagined. Less mass tourism, more local tourism, more respect, fewer pub crawls, real cultural exchange, not just Instagram photos. It sounds idealistic, sure, but the alternative is worse. A world where beloved destinations turn into battlefields between locals and visitors, where resentment poisons everything, where the dream of travel turns into a nightmare of conflict. No one wants that, least of all the Canarians who just want their home back. So next time you think about booking that cheap flight to Tenerife, ask yourself, is my holiday worth someone else's misery? Because that's the real question at the heart of this find. And that's why I say thank you for joining us today on Outside Views. And if you appreciated this honest breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the real stories behind the headlines. We'll be back soon with more analysis, more clarity, and yes, more uncomfortable truths. So stay critical, stay curious, and remember, being a good tourist isn't about where you go. It's about how you go. So see you next time, and the next video is already right here in the end screen.